a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host for the day, Alex Lima, at BlackBelt_fitness on social media. You know me as Alex BlackBelt Lima. Longtime family here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, so it's a joy and a blessing in my life to be able to sit on this side of the table on the microphone and bring new people onto the show and help their businesses and their celebrity to grow as it helped me to do mine. So you know what we do here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, we try to bring you experts in every industry possible, and we do a vetting process. We sit down, we talk with these people, we make sure that they're legit at what they do and they have a certain degree of experience and success stories behind them. So today on the show we have some of those success stories and legitimate businessmen. We have decorating elves, Nick Shriver, lighting expert, does a lot more than just Christmas lights. He's going to talk to you guys about how to hook up, get your lighting right for your home security or like your party situations, everything that has to do with your lighting and home needs. And then we also have Andrew Kube in the house, U.S. Commercial and Business Capital. He's going to hit us with some knowledge. He's going to show us some incredibly creative ways in order to get capital started for your business ventures or for your residential properties. But before we do that, we want to feature some of the properties by the wonderful Platinum MVP team. Brandon and Lindsay own the best real estate company in all of Florida, Platinum MVP Realty at Keller Williams, also known as the Platinum Coastal Elite. And one of the properties we would like to showcase for you is 3704 Burger Road in Lutz, Florida. It's a 10,000 square foot home, massive, absolutely beautiful home, 9-bedroom, 12 bath, no CDDs or HOA fees. Indoor pool area with a full bar and oversized deck, full tennis court, library, movie theater, sauna, 2 master suites, grand balcony, and more. I mean, once you're in this house, I don't see a reason of ever wanting to go out anywhere else. I would just order anything and just have it just come to me because that house is absolutely stunning and beautiful. So 3704 Burger Road, Lutz, Florida. If you're interested in that property, you can always go to platinumcoastalelite.com. We also want to show you 14 Baywood Drive in beautiful Palm Harbor, Florida, Pinellas County. It's a 2,913 square foot home, 4-bedroom, 3-bath, completely remodeled 3-story home, wood-burning fireplace in the living room, vaulted ceilings, pool and screened-in back porch, waterfront community. I mean, this house is gorgeous as well in its own right. Big driveway. I love the way the garage is set up. Beautiful pool in the backyard. Look at that bathtub right there. That's where you just kick it after a long day, just relax and let all your worries go away. You can check out this property, 14 Baywood Drive, Palm Harbor, Florida, at platinumcoastalelite.com. You can also call our hotline, 727-263-3707. So in the house, as promised, Andrew Kube, U.S. Commercial and Business Capital. How you doing, Andrew?
I'm doing great. Thanks, Alex.
Man, it's so good to see you, buddy. I think the first time ever that you were on the show, actually, I was thrown into the hot seat as well of having to interview you. So,
absolutely.
So now we're coming full circle, man. Now we're here again.
Great. Thank you for having me again.
Nah, it's a pleasure. So please, if you can recap a little bit your background, how you got into this industry and your business and what it is you do.
Okay, great. So I got into lending in 1996. I got into the residential mortgage business. And a couple years later, I was running a company called H&R Block Mortgage. The tax company used to be in the mortgage business. And so I started with them I started in 96 and 2000, started working for H&R Block Mortgage. I managed probably over a couple hundred loan officers over that span of time.
So the H&R Block, the same one that does they have a mortgage side of things?
They did.
Wow.
They did.
Okay.
They, I guess in 2008 was around the time they decided they didn't want to be in the mortgage business anymore. That's when the real estate market kind of crashed around that time. But no, I started working in Centerville, Virginia. I'm from the Virginia, D.C. area. And I ran the state of Virginia for their mortgage division. And
wow.
And so we were very successful. That actually was what brought me to Tampa. They decided they didn't want to have different locations throughout the country. They brought me to Tampa. We're over on Waters Drive, I believe. That's where we were located. And I ran a team of loan officers there. And then from there, when they decided they didn't want to be in the mortgage business anymore, I went to go work for another mortgage company managing around 30 loan officers. So I was in the residential business for a lot of years. About 5 years ago, I just needed a change.
Yeah.
And so the guy that had got me into the mortgage business in 1996, He had gotten out of the residential business. He got into the commercial business and business financing. So 5 years ago, I started in that industry, and about 3 years ago, I started my own business.
Wow, man.
And what we do is we help clients throughout the United States with all their commercial and business lending needs. So half of my business, what we do is we help out investors, investors that might want to buy residential properties, and then any type of commercial property that you can imagine. When you're driving down the street, looking to the left or to your right, I help those clients finance those properties. It can be ground up construction, it can be multifamily, car washes, storage units, you name it. So that's one side of my business. I help out investors find the best loan program out there that not only in terms but in interest rate. My job is to find them the best deal on the market. And then on the other half of my business, I help business owners grow their businesses, and I can do this by helping them buy commercial real estate for their business to help their business grow, or provide working capital, equipment, whatever they need to take it to the next level.
Yeah, that's all. So let me ask you. So how does this work? So let's say I'm driving by and I see a business that says, or a building rather, that says for sale, and I want to open, let's say, my gym. Okay, and there's the phone number, all call 813 blah 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 whatever. At what point does myself contact you as far as the financing? Because I know I've done this before in the past, being a business owner when I had my warehouse space. It is at least strongly implied. They may not say, hey, you have to go through us, but when you call those numbers and you talk to those people, they're like one-stop shop. Hey, we're going to sign you. We get you the business, and then here they kind of make it sound like, oh, you got to go through our guy or whatever. So how does it come to where we get you as the guy coming in?
Well, I mean, yeah, that's a great question. See, with me, I personally average probably somewhere around 40 referrals a month.
Okay.
So I'm having to find a lot of different deals, a lot of different lenders from all over the country. Some I already have established relationships with. And so you don't have to go through the lender that the realtor suggests.
Yeah.
I mean, you owe it to yourself to find the best deal that's out there. So I always suggest is, hey, talk to that lender that they're referring to you, but also give me a call and let me show you what I can do to help you.
Nice. Always have Andrew Kube in the back pocket.
Absolutely.
I like it. Nice, man. So we were talking before about the off air. We were discussing with the bank statement program. I want to get into some of these really creative ways that you have found to get, because the reality is a lot of people have a dream, they have a vision, but then it starts to feel overwhelming that man, I can never afford to do this, or I don't know if I can get a loan to do this, or my credit score, whatever it may be. But you have some really creative ways to help people realize their dream and make things happen. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. I think that's my purpose or my passion, really, and that's where I really get the most enjoyment out of my business, is helping small businesses grow. So that's on one side of my business, that's what I focus on. So for example, in your situation, if let's say you're a business out there right now and you're currently leasing your commercial space, there's an opportunity for you to actually buy commercial real estate for no money down, which if I didn't know about it, I would say,
it sounds crazy.
Yeah. It's no, I don't, what does that mean? No money down. There's got to be a catch.
Right.
But the government, which is the program we use, is the SBA. There's 3 or 4 lenders out there in the country that will actually let you replace your rent into a new mortgage payment. So let's say, for example, I have a business out there, and if you're a business out there, and let's say you made $1 million gross revenues last year, but you had $900,000 in write-offs, you had $100,000 net profit. Mm-hmm. Okay, and let's say you bought, or you're paying $5,000 in rent right now. So the rent's going to go away. This program's called the rent replacement, because now you're not going to rent anymore. You're going to own the real estate. So what we do is we add back in all the rents you paid out that year. So as this example, let's say you're a business that pays out $5,000 a month in rent, which is $60,000 a year. For qualifying, we're using $160,000 to qualify you. And based off of that number, you would qualify for around a $1.36 million property for no money down.
Wow.
And let's say, Alex, you found a property. You said, Andrew, I found this property I want to buy for $1.1 million. Now you have $260,000 left over to grow your business.
And it's because you get to utilize it as working capital, whatever's left over.
Working capital, equipment, fixtures for your office. Even if you have some high interest rate business debt, you can include that into the purchase of your loan. So it's a great program. It's an awareness thing. You know, not
people
many
don't know about it. Yeah,
people don't know about it. So I've kind of been on a mission for the last at least year to help small business owners realize that there's $5 million out there per business that the government is allowing you to go get loans for.
Yeah.
So let me give you an example. I had a dentist last year that he was leasing, and he took advantage of the rent replacement program. So he bought a $1.5 million property. I got him $400,000 in working capital, equipment, fixtures for his new office. He did a loan for $1.9 million and paid for his appraisal and environmental, and that was it. Didn't have to come out with a down payment. So he calls me 8 months later and says, hey, Andrew, I'd like to do that rent replacement program again. That no money down.
Yeah.
I said, remember I told you. I said, I bet you do.
Yeah.
I said, but remember I told you, you own now.
Yeah.
So it's going to be 10% down moving forward for your second location.
Because he qualifies differently now because he's no longer leasing. He
no longer
owns
leasing.
This is his actual property.
Right.
Yeah.
But so he said, well, can you still get me the $400,000? I need to grow the second location. I said, absolutely. So he found a property for $1 million. We got him the $400,000 that he needed to help grow his business. So he did a loan for $1.4 million. He put down 10%, which was $140,000.
Yep.
But he walked away with $400,000.
Yeah.
You know what he said, Alex? He said, I'll call you back in 8 months. I'll be ready to do it again.
I'll bet. And so there's essentially there's essentially no cap on how many times you could do that, as long as you're making your payments and you're meeting,
Absolutely,
meeting
up to
criteria.
$5 million.
Yeah, until you hit the $5 million mark. Wow.
And then at that point, you'll be probably ready to do more of a conventional financing,
Sure.
and you won't need SBA.
Sure.
But that's a way that you can really help your business grow. So on the business side, that's the main program that I work with business owners.
Yeah.
And even if you're a business out there right now that already owns your location, there's another program, and that's called the SBA 7A program.
The one we were just talking about.
Yep.
Real quick, what's an interest rate, or what are we looking at when it comes to like doing that program?
So that program is based off the prime rate. Okay.
Okay.
And prime right now is up. It's at 8.25.
Okay.
And typically the banks will go anywhere between 2 to 3% above prime, depending on the lender. Most lenders in the area, they're probably closer at 3%, but I do work with banks that will go down to like 1.75 to 2% above prime.
Nice.
So you're getting around at 8.25 to 11%.
That's a tremendous savings in the long run.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like for example, the dentist I was telling you was paying out $10,000 a month. So he's paying out $120,000 a year to someone else's mortgage.
Yeah, just throwing it out.
Yeah, the way I look at that's a $240,000 swing every year. And his landlord was getting the tax write-off. And then I asked him, I said, you're 55 years old. What are you going to do in 10 years? You're going to shut your business down? Because if you don't own that real estate, it's going to be much harder for you to sell the business. But if you own the business, or if you own the real estate now, you can sell the real estate in the business when you retire, if you don't have any children or anybody to leave it to, or you can sell your business and rent the real estate out. It just gives you so many more options. As small business owners, we work years and years to grow. We're passionate about growing our business, but if you don't own that real estate, what's the end game? And that's kind of what I really focus on. And then, for some businesses, it might not work. If you're a restaurant and you have to be over on Del Mabry to be successful because of the traffic count, it might not work for you. But what I can do in that situation is I can help get you cash, capital, money for equipment. And what my goal is, and what I do, is I try to find you the cheapest money that's out there available in the market.
That's awesome. How do people reach you if they want to get in touch with you?
Best is by phone. It's 727-296-8650. Again, that's 727-296-8650.
Nice. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back with Andrew Kube, and we're going to get more into these creative options. I mean, that is a phenomenal retirement plan business. I mean, the sky is the limit if you could get into a deal like that with no money down. That's absolutely nuts, but it's true. It exists, and Andrew Kube can show you the way. So coming back on the Consumer Quarterback Show, www.consumerqb.com. Don't touch that dial.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
And we're back at the Consumer Quarterback Show. www.consumerqb.com is where you want to check us out. You can always call our hotline as well, 727-263-3707. I'm your host for the day, filling in for Brandon Rhymes, Alex Lima with BlackBelt Fitness and Martial Arts. Having a amazing conversation here with Andrew Kube. He's motivating me to maybe go out and get another building again. I don't know. I'm going to have to talk to him. Him and Marquet. Marquet is going to set up my retirement going into my days, and Andrew Kube is going to help me find that property that can sell off when I want to ride off into the sunset. And I guess Mark was saying the other day about maybe moving to Ecuador. I don't know. I'll have to look into that. But before we get even further into my dream and journey, we're going to look at some of our properties that are offered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams. Property I would like to showcase for you is 701 Sugar Palm Street in Largo, Florida. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,000-square-foot home. This is a beautiful 55 and up community for resort-style living. I mean, this is where you want to go when you kind of, maybe I'll move here, I don't know, ride out the days here. You got a 55 and up community, beautiful pool, activities. Looks like there's a golf course nearby. This property is beautiful. It's got a built-in china cabinet that spans the entire wall, which is not often seen anymore. It's a recently remodeled kitchen, so everything's up to par and brand new. Water purifier, ready to rock. The primary has a built-in dresser and in-suite in the main room. You have a front porch with an adorned porcelain tile. It's beautiful. You definitely want to check it out. 1,000-square-foot, 55 and up community at 701 Sugar Palm Street in Largo, Florida. Beautiful Pinellas County. Another property I'd like to show you. This is for my investors here. Pebble Creek Court in Four Corners, Florida. This is in Orange and Osceola County. It's kind of like they call it Four Corners because it's where the counties all kind of intersect. It makes a big cross right in the middle. It's out in the Orlando area, which is next to, I mean, this is literally just miles away. It says 10 miles away from Disney, Universal, SeaWorld, downtown. So obviously the traffic going through here is just insane. It's 100+ acres. It is a prime development opportunity. Excellent location if you wanted to build short-term rental community. I mean, you set some houses up there, rental community. The cash flow will not stop coming in from this place. So this is Pebble Creek Court in Four Corners, Florida, Orange and Osceola County. Like I said, if you want to see this or any of our properties, you can go to platinumcoastaleelite.com. You can also call our off-air number 727-263-3707.
And Alex, I was going to say, I just saw that property. If you are a builder, developer, we have programs for you as well. I have some lenders that's all they work with, is they work with builders. So we have some great programs for that property. If you're interested in talking to me, I can let you know what the financing looks like.
Yeah, definitely. Off air, we were just talking about getting into like what some of the investors and stuff like that. So an investor looking into like residential properties or maybe even getting into a property like that, it's two separate programs.
Yeah. So what I want to do real quick. That property right there would be more for if you were a builder or developer.
Yeah.
So I have lenders they strictly just work with those types of clients, and they help them build that out, get the financing to build that out. I wanted to revisit because I know you had mentioned that maybe you would want to buy another building for your business. The SBA 504 program might be the program for you to go with. I had a client recently who closed last month. He was renting a spot out. He has a car dealership, sold used cars. And the 7A program didn't fit his payment because the interest rate was a little bit higher, and he had an established business. So what we did was the SBA 504 program. And the interest rates on that, what happens is the SBA, it's 10% down. The SBA, they do 40% of the financing. The banks come back and do the 50%. And the SBA piece right now is around 6.5%.
Wow.
On a 25-year fixed loan.
Fixed.
And then the banks come back and do a 5-year balloon with a 25-year amortization. So again, it keeps the payments down.
Yeah.
And that's right in the low 7s. So, if you're looking to buy, if you're an established business looking to buy a property for your business, that might be the best program for you to go with because the blended rate right now is under 7% on a 25-year amortization.
Well, and is there a cap on that, like on your capital that you get to start your the amount that loan is for? Like it tops off at X amount, or I mean, obviously you don't
I've seen it around.
With
I've seen it up to $12 million.
Dang, I mean that's pretty.
So
good.
It's good for somebody that's looking to buy a hotel.
Sure,
that's a great program.
Yeah.
But on the investor side, so that's on the business side.
Right.
On the investor side, I have tons of working capital programs. I have programs for people that through the SBA that can show their last 2 years of tax returns to qualify. Let's say, for instance, that business showed, they made $500,000 last year, but they showed a loss. Okay, I can get them up to $150,000 based off their gross revenues. And that loan usually takes a couple weeks to close. It's fairly quick.
And that's the one by looking at the bank statements?
No, well, that's one that will actually look at the tax returns.
Oh, okay.
But it doesn't look at the profit. So even if you showed a loss to the IRS last year, you can still qualify up to $150,000 under that program.
Based on your returns. Wow.
Based on your gross revenues.
Nice.
The bank statement programs, for a while now, you could, if you were self-employed, you could go buy a house, and if you didn't show enough money on your tax returns to qualify, there's programs out there that you can use your bank statements to qualify. And I was always searching for that on the commercial side. And just last month, I did find out there was a couple lenders out there that are doing that. So even if you're self-employed and you don't show a lot of money on your tax returns to qualify, you can still qualify now for a commercial property using bank statements. And that's something that's fairly new. It's only been out in the market for, a handful of months.
And you were saying, we were talking as well, that you find often, I mean, obviously you have a lot of connections with different lenders and dealers, but credit unions have been cranking out some really good specials and stuff, or working with people, correct?
Yeah, I have a project right now I'm working with in Hutchinson Island.
Okay.
And they came to me and said, hey, we'd love for you to work with us on the financing. They're building, beach homes and beach villas, and it's the Marriott is part of the program, Marriott Rewards. And it's one of the first franchise programs of the kind. But so I found it's for all jumbo loans, but I found a $5 million jumbo loan at under 7%, which right now we understand that residential jumbo loans are in the 8s.
Yeah.
So it's smart. So right now, the interest rates on the commercial side are lower than the residential side.
Man, that's the way to go. That's how you build your wealth here in your lifetime. Andrew Kube, thank you, man. One more time, how can people reach you?
727-296-8650. Again, 727-296-8650.
All right, you heard it here. Don't touch that dial. Coming up next with Nick Shriver, Decorating Elves, right here on www.consumerqb.com. We'll be right back.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast on iTunes and Spotify, or check out our YouTube channel. Have a